Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you're doing really well. My name's Hamna and I create content connected to art, healing and spirituality. This Ramzan I've decided to do one name a day just to kind of remind ourselves in a beautiful way who our Allah is. You see, we've all been taught and brought up by our elders and society, culture, religious leaders of who Allah is. But the journey to Allah needs to be done by each one of us towards Him. There is this desire to know who this is, and that is, comes through the names He has gifted us. He Himself calls Himself with these names. And so when He has gifted us these names, we owe it to ourselves and to His love to get to know Him deeper as to what it is that He is saying when He calls Himself Ya Waris and Ya Baith. And it's so important to just sit with these names, connect to them. I'm going to try something new today, and I'm going to tell you guys verbally without the visuals of how to create the grid, which by the way I've never done ever, through just my voice, and I'm hoping that the message will go through, inshallah. And as you're working on your grid, I'm going to read a little bit about Ya Baith and Ya Waris. So while your conscious mind is creating the artwork, your subconscious mind is actually being reminded of these of Allah through these names, inshallah ta'ala. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to each one of you who is listening and who is on this journey with me. It's been a beautiful journey, but the one thing that I realized that happens with the names of Allah, of course, each name is an ocean in its own, and every time I connect to it, there's something more deeper, something more beautiful and profound that sort of comes up. But as we absorb His name in us and we start really living by the name, calling upon these names, what happens is that we're calling upon light. We're calling upon love. So everything that is within us, there is a time that comes when we're taking something in, but then something that was inside has to be released and removed. So a lot of darkness leaves your being as you are absorbing light in. For darkness cannot stay where the light is. So a lot of times in your physical reality, as you get interested in Allah and His names and His message and connect to Him in, journey within on your spiritual journey, the one thing that does start happening is your reality starts crumbling. You change friends because you don't connect to them as much as you did. You start eating differently, you start thinking differently, you start behaving differently. And most times those around you, excuse me, might look at you in surprise as to what's happened to you. But nothing's really happening to you. What's happening is that as you are taking in light, you are unlayering yourself of darkness. And so you are literally being reminded. That's why zikr is the remembrance of Allah. It's not something that you don't know of. It's something which is within you. And as you start remembering who He is, you start remembering who you are. And for that to happen, you start, you start speaking your truth. You start living life very differently to that who you were. But this is something I just wanted to share, that it does come as a side thing, which I personally did not realize. Of course, I was not aware of this, but as I went through, I realized a lot of life in the physical reality changes when we connect to Allah in a deeper, more spiritual, soulful way. And as we are writing His names down, the effects that we have when we're doing a normal tasbih is very different to what you are doing as you are writing it down. When you write it down, what it does is it makes your eyes see the power of creativity, the power that you can turn a white sheet of paper with the ink. You're able to create something inspired by Allah. As art becomes ibadat, it transforms you in ways that you would be really surprised. It calms you, but it also brings out a lot from within you. And as we go through this, having gone through the 99 names earlier in the last 2 years, I've come to understand that what I was 2 years ago, I'm definitely not that person. And there's this major distinction between what I tolerated and what I choose not to tolerate again, because the names awaken an internal strength in you, which is truly so beautiful, so magical, and it really shifts you. And I'm not just saying it because you're listening to me, I'm saying it because I really truly want for you to know that this path that you are on with me might bring out some darkness. And so if there is a moment that you want to seek help from a healer or therapist or something, I would highly advise that. So don't do it alone, because even Allah knows, and He sends us. He sent the book, He sent messengers, He sends His signs, He sends His guidance. He knows we can't, or we're not really meant to be able to do this alone. So He sends us people and things in ways that we are able to connect to our darkness and be able to move forward towards light, because we don't have to do it alone, is what I'm getting to. And I knew that personally I couldn't. So if that's something that also comes up for you as you're absorbing so much light in you through different resources, and it's one thing to read about Allah, to listen about Allah. It's completely different when you are actually eyes, your body, your hands, your whole being is in devotion to Allah. You block time, you block space to sit and create on this piece of paper in front of you. It's a remarkable power that He's given us as human beings, and when taken in a very positive way, connected to Him, it becomes truly like a form of ecstasy. And you start saying happy for no reason. Of course, you go through the dark phases, but then there are days that He gives us which are magical, and the synchronicities, things happen in our life, and you're like, oh my God, you're in awe of Him. And that's what He wants you to do. Don't be in the dark space all the time. Understand that I'm taking you in for a certain reason, and then I'm going to bring you up to a different space. But you have to go down to come up, and then up to down. The deeper you go into the darkness, the higher you will come up in the light. But it's a process, a wave that goes up and down. So having said all that, I will start with the explanation of how you can create your grid today. So while you're working, then I will share the insights. So Bismillah Rahman Rahim, just bring yourselves into the present moment, relax your shoulders. Thank Allah for your hands, for your being, for the heartbeat, for the eyes that make you see, for the hands that allow you to create, for the breath that helps you stay alive, for the heartbeat that's constantly sending blood to your vessels. Just be very present and awake to what it is that He is going to be unfolding in front of you, inshallah. Place a dot on your sheet of paper, wherever it may be, that feels center to you. Try not to measure this point, but let it come to you as you see and stare on the paper. Using that dot, create a horizontal line. Divide this line on the left-hand side with 0.5 centimeters. Now, using those 0.5 centimeters that you've marked, start creating your circles. Let your hands move slowly. Let your eyes stay on the sheet of paper. Keep focusing where your tension is in your body and relax your shoulders. Each circle is the opening of your heart. So you're journeying within into a portal. You're creating a doorway towards your Allah. He brings you into this present moment just so that you can be with Him. Allow that feeling to sink in. He chose for you to be able to create, inspired by Him and His name. That in itself is the mercy of our Allah, that He's connecting to you through this beautiful way of doing Ibadat, of remembering Him. As you see the circles come to life, use your protractor, place it on your center point. And get your 10 degrees marked out on the top and the bottom. As He opens your heart, He also creates a way for you to get more clear about who your focus is. He brings you from the outside in to be reminded who you are at the inside, so that you're able to come out again into the world for when the time is ready for you. Using the markings of every 10 degrees, you're going to create lines cutting through the center, kind of like an opening of a star. So do this through the whole, all the lines passing through the center. Keep your hands gentle, be soft as you create. Imagine the moment that you were created by your Allah, the precisions in your bones, the body parts that were designed perfectly just to fit into your body, the soul that resides in every single cell that is alive in your being. Everything within you is working in a certain way. Everything in your body is in constant zikr, remembrance, ibadat of your Allah. The only place that has free will is your mind and heart. All other body parts are being used in a way by your body and controlled by Allah. The only free will you have is in your mind. But if you go deeper into this, you know that the one who created the mind and the heart is the true Malik of it. So even though you live in an illusion thinking you have control over your thoughts and the way you feel and the way you act and the way you behave, go deeper into the understanding of who truly is in charge, who truly is in control. You or the one who created you. And that brings in such a beautiful feeling of surrender, of submission, of sajda. I was writing a message just yesterday and I said to myself, the person asked me, what is it that you do through your sessions? And the three things that came, which are like my mantra: surrender, submit, and sajda. Surrender to His will. Submit knowing that all He does is for your best. And sajda. Remember your place on this planet. Remember you are made from earth. Remember to be humble and kind. Remember to stay connected to the ground that He has given us. Once you've got the grid ready, I want you to look at the left side and the right side. With the center line, just deepen the center line a little bit more, the vertical line 90 degrees that you received. I say received because you couldn't have done this without His will. So your mind says, I am creating this line. But the soul says, thank you for allowing me to be able to create this line. There is humbleness in our souls. There's a very pure connection with its God, with the source. It knows the soul is always in connection, constant connection with Allah. It's so humble, it's so pure, it's so light, breathable, doesn't resist. It knows Allah knows the best for it. So as you receive the line, just darken the center line a little bit, the 90-degree one. Once you've done that, on the left-hand side, if you can start writing Ya Baith Ya Waris in whatever language you want, going from the inside out. And on the right-hand side, if you can write it from coming from the outside in. The writing of your names is the energy that you are actually cultivating in your brain to say that what is inside of me when comes out to the soul is also Ya Baith Ya Waris, for I surrender, submit and sajda to the one who created me. So the inside core comes out and the outside also reminds you of Ya Baith Ya Waris, the one who's created you. So on one side you'll be going from the inside outwards, and on the other side you'll be coming from the outside in. Now you can choose which one you want to do first, right or left, that's totally up to you. As I'm reading, allow yourself to be fully present. I hope you enjoy the session, and I hope you connect and come closer to your Allah and be reminded of how loved you are for receiving this message through Him. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Baith is the one who fully sends forth the message of God and the messengers of God. He removes all blockages to the divine flow, and divine flow, it means to throw off death like sheep or like sleep. Sorry, I don't know why I said sheep. Oh, I know why I said sheep, because it's been going on in my head for another reason. But anyway, it means to throw off death like sleep or inertia, to fully wake up. Al-Baith is the power that resurrects all souls, and it is the power that revives dead hearts so they can be open again. Ya Baith is the one who fully sends forth the message and the messenger. Such a powerful comment. It is He who fully sends forth, meaning He pushes a message forward towards you, and He chooses the messenger through which you will be guided towards that message. Now in my heart, what I want to dive into is fully sends forth. Fully sends forth. What is He sending me? A message and a messenger. He wants me to connect to Ya Baith and be reminded that it is He who sends me a message that comes straight to me, for me, through a messenger. So there is a message and a messenger that Allah chooses. Whatever that message needs to reach me will come towards me through a messenger that He chooses for me. It truly means that He makes sure that what he wants you to know, he will always send it in a way that it's fully received by you, that it will reach you without being distorted or lost. If something is meant to reach, I just said if, but actually what I meant to say is when. When something is meant to reach you, it will reach you. And it will reach you in a way that Allah will make sure that it is not distorted or lost. For example, you're scrolling as we all do, and you get a profound TikTok video. You find somebody randomly you never even imagined, and looking at them, you're like, oh my God, they're saying exactly what I really needed to hear in this moment. So Allah chose for you a message that your soul needed to be validated of His existence, and He chose the messenger, whoever it is, out of the blue, who you never thought would be even important in your life, suddenly is speaking the language of your soul. And so you kind of connect to this messenger because the message that they brought across to you was the message that your soul truly needed. For He makes sure that the message that's meant to reach to you is not in control of the messenger. The messenger is only delivering it to you. The one who delivers the message, the tool that will bring forth that particular message when you are ready for it. You see, so many times if we see somebody like a mentor, coach or therapist or whatever, healer, and we look at them and we're not ready to receive their message, we'll just walk past or scroll past them. But when we're ready, and Allah knows that this is the point that He wants to shift us and connect to us and heal, send us the healing, He's going to make sure that the message reaches you in a way that it's not distorted and it's not lost, because that's how He speaks to you. He speaks to you through your soul. And inside you, you will know, my God, this is so for me. You'll just know it in your heart. And you'll be like so grateful to the messenger that you received the message, and you'll connect to the message, and that will help you take the next steps, inshallah, forward on your journey. Now, if the message is coming from Allah and needs the message to be delivered fully, that means it must be really important, right? Hence, He chooses the messenger to deliver it. So He won't send it to you through anybody. Like, He knows exactly how to get your attention, through what words, for He's the one who's contacting your soul, right? He's sending the message to you. And so imagine how important that message must be, that it needs to reach you. When we receive a message from that lover, Allah, the one who loves you the most, how does it make you feel? You see, when you hear from your Allah, how does it make you feel when He makes His presence really loud and clear to you? You could not have heard something that your soul really wanted to hear if it wasn't the will of Allah. Now that the message has reached you, how does it make you feel that only Allah could bring that message to you? How does it make you feel? Go deeper into your understanding and ask yourself, when He gives me exactly what I need, how does it make you feel? It's probably relaxed, uplifted, connected to the lover, right? Like you matter. He cares for you, and so He sends you the message, like you're connected to your lover. And that's why He would send the message. When your lover sends you a message, what are your feelings receiving it? So somebody you love sends you a message. What are your feelings going to be about it? How do you feel receiving this message from your Allah? You'll feel joyful, you'll feel content, you'll feel satisfied, and you'll feel grateful. So when we feel stuck in our life, blocked at times from things and people we really want in our life, Allah sends us signs through His messengers to help move forward, to look beyond that what is the physical reality. What is He helping you more to move forwards towards? through the messages and the messengers that he's sending you, what do you think he's moving you towards? Every time you receive a message from your lover, you feel like the relationship is moving forward, like the barriers between you and your Allah are fading, and there is a sense of knowing each other fully. It's kind of like absorbing Allah's love inside you. The more messages your lover sends you, the more you receive his love. The more love you receive from him, the more connection you build with him. The more connected you feel with him, and the connection deepens and builds over time, the more you feel you know your lover. The more you know your lover, the more you trust him. The more your heart trusts him, the more they come forth to open up to you. The more they come to open up, the more you feel grateful. You become very grateful for the experience that he is gifting you of feeling connected to him in such a profound way. The more you become grateful for the experience that he has gifted you, the more you depend on him. The more you depend on him, the more you let go of control in other relationships. The more you let go of other relationships, the more you become beautiful. The more the relationships that you have with Allah becomes beautiful. The more it becomes beautiful, the more you feel at peace with your lover, your Allah. The reason Allah sends us messages is to keep the connection going between you and me. Between you and him, sorry. The reason Allah sends us messages is to keep the connection between him and you. So we are reminded of him at all times. The reason he chose a particular messenger for that particular message is because Allah knows how important the message is and how important you needed to receive it, to experience divine flow through you. You see, the message was really important so that you could feel connected to Allah. So he's not going to send the message through anybody. It's going to be a particular person, a particular way, a particular tone that will hit you right where it needs to, for he knows how to fully bring forth that message. Al-Baith sends the messages and the messengers for whom? So you might ask yourself, he's sending these messages and the messenger for the connection between you and him. But then who are they actually for? Why do we need to be reminded constantly of his presence, his love, his mercy? Why can't we just remember it once and it's over and done with? Because he knows. He knows being a human, you are built in such a way that you will forget. So as an act of mercy and his love, Ya Baith sends you his signs through his creations to remind you that even when you are stuck, it is only him who can push you forwards, only him who decides when, how, where, and why he's sending you that message. So when you are stuck, he's giving you a chance to remember him as Al-Baith. Because when you are stuck and you practice gratitude, even when you are stuck, he will send you the signs and people who will pull you towards his light and make you rise above the darkness. Al-Baith helps you move forwards in faith, in gratitude, and with the understanding of being open to Allah's messages to come from unexpected resources, from beyond our knowledge and understanding, for He chooses the messengers and the message that needs to come through to you. Now, for me, the story that I always connect to when I'm thinking about these two names, Ya Waris Ya Baith, is always the whale story of Hazrat Yunus alayhi salam. And he needed to go into the darkness to work out what he was feeling inside himself and become vulnerable to Allah and own his mistake. And then he was pushed outwards. So first the whale came to him out of the blue. There was no plan of a whale. He was in a boat. When he jumped in the water, it was the whale that ate him. So it was so unexpected. This is Allah telling us that the messenger that I send you, who will help you go deeper into your healing, into your darkness, into your fears, into your limited beliefs, or into whatever it is that you need to heal and get to, so that you are able to become the best version of yourself to serve Allah. The messenger that will come from places you cannot even know. Right? It's like a whale. I mean, how many times have we heard of a whale eating a man and then making you sit inside a acidic stomach, and then he comes out like, woohoo, I've learned my lesson. You see, he had to go in there to sit with himself, to own the darkness that is inside of him that came out in his reality. The messenger was the whale. And the message that he needed to be reminded of was that he is a slave of Allah and he has to do that what pleases him. So for him to receive that realization, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin, for him to be able to say that verbally out loud so that we can say it out loud today, he had to go through that journey, through that experience, so that he could teach us that when we are in deep darkness, not to give up hope and recognize that in that darkness, that is the message we were needing in our life. We were so focused on all the other things outside of us that we forgot that we need to clean our mess. And to clean our mess, we have to sit with ourselves, not be distracted by other people, not be looking at them, comparing ourselves to them, and be in competition with them, always feeling like, am I good enough? I'm not good enough, ticking all the boxes of the matrix, all of these things, right? He had to kind of cut off, be in isolation, in darkness. So the messenger was the whale that Allah chose to reach totally out of the blue, huge and humongous, who knew exactly what it meant to sing its own songs. Nobody's listening to the whale songs, but yet it sings so beautifully in praise of Allah. And so goes into the stomach. As Allah chooses, He pulls us back into our darkness, and as He chooses, when the time is right, we've received the message and we're like, oh, this is what He was saying, and boom, He will free you from that situation and take you to the next lesson, inshallah ta'ala, which will be hopefully something that I always say this is not hard, but then I'm made to think that the harder the lessons, the more growth you have. So may Allah be always with you in whatever stage you are being pushed forward towards in life. And then with Ya Waris, I want to make these videos not very long, but then they always turn out to be long, and I kind of want to still give you a little bit about Ya Waris before I end. So I'll try and be really quick. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The inheritor of all, the one who remains after all has passed. He is everlasting, and to whom all possessions will be returned. This is a really powerful name, and as much as Ya Baith pushes us forward, this name pulls us back in. Allah is the rightful owner of all of His creation. This body we call ours returns to Allah's earth. This soul that that gives us life returns to Allah's skies, for both belong to Him. Through Ya Baqi, sorry, I can never pronounce the qa. Through Ya Baqi, He taught us that He alone is eternal, which means He's telling us about Himself, and through His attributes, He's letting us know we are temporary. The body that we think is our identity in this realm becomes dirt. And that what comes from the skies goes back to home, to where it belongs. That what we identify as who we are decays in dirt. And that what we have within us rises to the next realm. One goes down into the earth and one goes up towards the skies. That what gets left on this earth gets buried away below the earth. That what flies to the skies expands into nothingness and everything. For the soul to fully rise, the body has to die. For the heart to fully be activated, the ego has to be tamed. Ego is what tells us that we are what we see. The heart tells us we are what we feel. Being human is understanding both and being able to use both as and when a situation requires one to be. The mind exists because Allah chose for it to exist. The heart beats for Allah chose for it to beat. If Allah has chosen to bless a human with both, He knows best, then that means both are valuable. Both are valuable to Allah, that is why He gave them to us. For neither could exist if they didn't have a purpose. When we recognize we came from the skies and within us carry a soul, we realize the soul was before the body, and it is what will remain even after the body has decayed down into the earth. Ya Waris reminds us to let go of our attachments to this body and our identity and understand to focus on that what is before and that what will be after it's gone. Now imagine the body being a dress that you wear only when you are going out to a wedding or a party or a birthday. That what you were at home before going to the wedding and that what you will be after coming home from the wedding is the real you, which is your soul. Through this name, Allah is reminding us that while the soul is in your body, it's yours to value, love, and choose as much as you value, love, and choose your body. But it's important to know that both are in the control of your Allah, and both will be returning to Him, and as He pleases, when He pleases. Ya Waris owns all and everything belongs to Him, and that what belongs to Him will surely return to Him, for it makes us conscious of what state are you when you will be returning to Him? What state is it your soul going to be in when you go back to Him? What state is your body going to be when it returns back to the earth? You see, the body goes to the earth, it still returns to whom? Allah. The soul that goes high up in the sky, where does it go? Returns back to Allah. He is the inheritor, He is the owner of everything. Everything will return back to Him. So even though the body is going down deeper into the ground and decays, we think it's dead. But actually every single part of your being that goes into the ground gets eaten up by another being. As these beings eat you, what state is your body in? Is it filled up with toxins? Is it filled up with disgusting things that you ate? And when you ate them, your body dies and you are put into the ground, and whoever the animals eat on are going to be eating your body. So what state is your body in for them to be absorbing? Either they're going to be absorbing disgusting food in you, or they're going to be absorbing a beautiful body that will give them life. Are you going to be sharing light through your dead body that the other animals will be eating? Is your body worth eating? Or those animals who will be eating you in your grave going to just be eating rotten body parts? So, what state will your body be in when it is returned to the earth and to the sky? What have you been putting in yourself? Is it light or is it darkness? What are you going to be giving back to the earth, to Allah's creatures, when you die? What have you been carrying in your human being, as in your body and your soul? What have you absorbed from the world in the form of food, nutrition, toxins, negativity? At body level, we feed ourselves with fast food, putting it in our body, unconsciously eating and taking in things that are harmful for our body, overeating at times and burdening our body to work more than it needs to, taking in toxins, drugs, and things we know that are harmful and numbing to the body. At soul level, we carry negativity in our emotions, having limited belief systems, shame, regret, rejection, unworthiness. We choose others to humiliate our soul over and over again and carry their voices in our soul, insulting the most perfect and beautiful creation your Rabb has created you as. With food that makes us heavy, with soul that sits in pain, we realize the mercy of Allah to give us this name, to remind us that if the body and soul have to be returned to its rightful owner, the one who created our body created it flawless, and our soul that he gifted us was pure light, that a believer was gifted with, you were gifted with. But what did we do to it? And to start taking care of ourselves, because we recognize that it's all going to go back to him, we connect to Ya Waris and be reminded what a gift our body and soul are, and so start shifting our energy to taking only that in which we want to leave behind. Why would he give you Ya Waris if he didn't want you to think about the condition of what will it be returned to him as or in? The return date is coming for all of us. How ready are you for it to be returned? And if it's not ready, then through this name, he's reminding you or gifting you a chance to let go of all your habits that are soul killing, that are not good for you, and the addictions that make you heavy, dependent, numb, and unprepared to face him. You see, we have to really understand that who we are completely belongs to Allah. The soul and the body and the being that we are together. And everything is going to be returned to him. And so when we are going to face Allah, our biggest priority needs to be an image of ourselves standing in front of Allah. How happy are you to see Allah, or how sad are you to see Allah? That is your goal, to reach a point every single day. Do the things that you say, is this pleasing to my Allah? Is this pleasing to my Allah for that how I'm treating myself or how I'm allowing others to treat me? He's telling us through this name that we belong to him, and the condition that we go back to him, return him, is more important than how we get seen by other people. I hope I'm making sense here. But let me just read this again. He's telling us through this name, they belong to me, as in the body and the soul belong to me, and the condition you want to return them in. If not, then start connecting to these two names and allow it to help you pull back all your needs so that you can rise above the debris towards that what is light, towards that what needs purification, to be prepared for its journey back home to its owner. You see, we're all moving forward as he pleases to. The more we listen to his messages, the more we connect to his messengers, the creation around us, the whale, the fish, whatever, take whatever resonates with you. The more we take in his signs, the more we take in his light, the more we sit in darkness and heal ourselves, the more we unlayer ourselves and purify ourselves. We are now preparing to go back so that we can face him, inshallah ta'ala. And what condition is our body and our soul going to be in becomes our main focus, not this dunya of how people will look at you, but how he is going to look at you, and how do you choose for him to see you as. Are you going to be filled with light, or are you going to be filled with the darkness of this dunya, with your attachments and distractions? Let Ya Waris and Ya Baith help you clean yourselves up, iron your soul, stitch your body up, decorate them, be ready for that meeting, because when he meets you, he's going to tell you, he's going to ask you, I gave you a beautiful body, what did you put inside it? I gave you an incredible soul, how did you expand it? How did you go inwards and how did you go outwards? All of that he's going to ask you. What is it that you took in? What it is that you purified yourself for me? In this month we're being asked to purify ourselves and be grateful for that journey. So get ready and prepared for that meeting, for your Allah, to whom you belong and to him whom inshallah we will return. I keep going back to the Qurbani. Remember I said the word sheep just before I finish. Qurbani is the returning of the soul to that where it belongs. So remember, he chose Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam to sacrifice the son, or the command, like that's what the message came through to him, that's what he needed to do, right? And then when he did it, it turned into a sheep. So kill that part of you that is a follower of this dunya. Kill that sheep attitude in you, that you are like everybody else, and stop comparing yourself, like looking at other people and always be in competition. Ask yourself, what have you prepared to see your Allah, and what are you going to give back? Are you going to go back and rise in front of your Allah like a sheep, or you're going to sit with grace in front of your Allah like an eagle or like a lion? And think of those strong animals. So when we do the Qurbani, it is Allah who's asking us to connect to that part of us which has been the sheep. Do this, do that, do that, do this, following everybody like blindly. So sacrifice that sheep, that attachment and distraction, and leave it in the ground here for others. But whatever it is that you leave behind, be conscious of it, that what are you leaving for those that will be feeding on your being or your body. I really hope this message comes through to you through Ya Waris and Baith, and you feel closer to him, inshallah, through this session. Do let me know in the comments, connect with me and let me know, and have an energy exchange of what your insights were while you were creating and listening to me. Did it help in any way? Did it inspire you in any way? Did it give you any kind of grounding? Or don't leave anything negative, please, because I'll just delete it anyway. But stay connected, be creative, love yourself for who you are, acknowledge your journey, and know that he will push you forward towards that what you need to when the time is right. So if you are here with me, connect with Ya Waris Ya Baith and know he will push you forward when the time is right. But if it is right now sitting here doing nothing, that in that nothing is your ibadat that is happening, because you surrendered, you submitted, and you are in sajda. Alhamdulillah. So share it, like it, and subscribe to my channel. And I'm sending you lots of love, lots of light, and have an incredibly amazing Rosa today. If you are fasting, of course. So lots of love, light, and peace. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon, inshallah. Allah Hafiz for today.